Have to tell me. Oh, and we're live.
Yeah, we're live. We never did figure out who was gonna start this.
I guess I'll start it. Hi, welcome. We are the Writing Warriors Book Club, and this is our first book of this year. So we read this January 2020, and it is To Kill a Kingdom by, what was her name? Alexandra Christo.
I want to keep calling her Christopher, Alexandra Christopher. I'm gonna have to name a character Christopher in one of my books. That's what's gonna happen.
To get out of your system. So we are the Writing Warriors. I'm Camille. I am trying to be published author, and we read mostly fantasy. And you are?
I'm Brianna, and I am a published author. I guess you could say Brie, since my author's name is Brie. But I'm a published author, and I write mostly fantasy and romance. So around there. I am working on the sci-fi, but that's about where I'm at right now.
Fun.
Hey, whose book recommendation was this?
This is mine.
No. Okay, this is yours. Yeah, and then I was like, hey, I just happen to have this on ebook or on audiobook. Mm-hmm. It's been in my audiobook for like a year because I had a credit and I just bought it, and I was like, well, I'll get to it when I get to it.
I saw someone on BookTube talk about, or like haul it, I think. I don't know if they had read it, but they hauled it. And I was like, that's an interesting idea. Do you have the thing pulled up? Do you want to read what it's about?
Yeah. Excuse my reading out loud because it's like my brain forgets what words are when I go to read out loud.
It's like you're in school all over again.
Yeah. Princess Lyra is a siren is siren royalty, and the most lethal of them all. With the hearts of 17 princes in her collection, she is revered across the sea until a twist of fate forces her to kill one of her own. To punish her daughter, the Sea Queen transforms Lyra into the one thing they loathe the most, a human. Robbed of her song, Lyra has until winter solstice to deliver the Prince Elin's heart. It's Elin, right? Heart to the Sea Queen to remain a human forever. The ocean is the only place Prince Elian calls home. I knew I was saying that wrong.
I was about to say, you read the audiobook.
Yeah. Even though he is heir to the most powerful kingdom in the world, hunting sirens is more than an unsavory hobby. It is his calling. When he rescues a drowning woman in the ocean, she's more than what she appears. She promises to help him find the key to destroying all siren kind for good. But can he trust her? And just how many deals will Elian have to barter to eliminate mankind's greatest enemy? I wanted to say Elin again. So I actually had to pause in the middle of this because it says right here that she's revered across the sea until a twist of fate forces her to kill one of her own. So to punish her,
we should just say right here.
That's not what happened.
Leave.
Huh?
If you haven't read this book, leave now because we are going to spoil everything for you. So go read it.
Okay, before I bring that up, we'll stop that now because that's really not spoiling anything. But let's just go ahead and give our ratings and our quick rundown of what we thought for the people who want to hear that, and then we'll go into spoilers.
Okay.
I think I gave it a 4 out of 5, but I'm very lenient and very nice. My overall thoughts of this is that I have no overall thoughts. Like, this left very little on me, very little consequence. It was a good read. Like, don't get me wrong. I was entertained throughout the whole book, but it left no mark on me. It's not something I'll gush about. It's a book I will probably forget by the end of the year. Tell you the truth. I mean, it's not bad writing. The main points that I did like was the villainess type main character. And I like the siren world. Like, that was pretty cool. in general, and then the one thing I didn't like was the ending. It was very unfulfilling. And that's about all I have to say about the entire book. Like, that's my opinion on it, and that's it.
No, I totally agree with you. So I gave it 3.5, so I was being a little bit meaner than Brie. But secretly, I know she wants to rate it the same. Overall, I mean, it was a good book. I really liked that it was a standalone because I have so many series. Like, it's really nice to read.
If this was a series, I would not bother with the next book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved the Siren World, and I got almost like stuck where it was really hard for me to read when she did become a human, because I was like, I don't care. I have all these books about humans. Like,
yeah.
I was really drawn into it for that, but obviously it's a Little Mermaid retelling, so obviously I knew that was going to happen. A loose
I didn't
Little
have
Mermaid
that problem when she turned human.
I liked the world. I didn't like the love interest. I don't know how you say his name. Elaine.
Elian. I was like, what?
His, it was dual POV, and I didn't like his
POV was boring.
Like, it could have just been her, and that would have been great. But overall, it's not a book that's going to stand out for me. It was a good read, and I did enjoy it, but I didn't fall in love with any of the characters. When I think about best characters,
we're both the same in that. We are character-driven readers. So
True.
If we ever get like this, where we both say that a book is like it's not that big of a deal to us, it's because the characters were not all that.
Yeah, nothing stood out about them. I felt like she was trying to like make the main character girl really badass, and the guy just really, I'm not like every other prince.
Yeah, like every other prince in every other fantasy story.
But like it didn't really like, I felt like I was being told that rather than seeing it, so I didn't feel that way.
Yeah, because okay, we can't get into that yet. So yeah, that's just our basic rundown. All right, yeah. So this is it. We're going into spoilers. You got the gist of it. It's just a book. Like, that's all we have to say.
It's just an average, a little bit above average. I like the idea. A little bit above
average, yeah.
But
yeah, it wasn't bad writing at all.
Anything to write a fan fiction about.
No. I would never write a fan fiction about it. Maybe if I just change and be like, oh, let's just write different sirens in different, like, all the
in different oceans.
In different
far
oceans. Far away. Yeah, I mean, don't get us wrong, it's not a bad book.
And this is our opinion. If you loved the book, great.
If you're sitting here like, well, I don't know if I should read it or not, give it a read. I mean, you're not gonna regret reading it. I mean, I don't regret reading it. It was a good book. Like, it's just, that's all it was a book. But anyway, so we're going to get into spoilers right now, and I want to talk about this. And I don't know if this is just the Goodreads thing, but here it says that until a twist of fate forces her to kill one of her own to punish her daughter, the Sea Queen transforms Lear into one thing that they loathe the most, right? So this is when they turn her into human. But it makes it seem like in this, she was turned because she killed one of her own, but she was turned because she killed an extra prince.
Yeah, she wasn't. Yeah, that's true. That's off because she did kill a mermaid, but that was.
But she was already human at that point in time. No, she killed a
mermaid when she was a mermaid because her mom made her. Remember, it was like her aunt.
Made her kill her aunt. Yeah, her Callia's mother. And that's why her and Callia are so close. Is because she was ordered to kill Callia. And Callia's mother is like, no. And I do understand that, because that's what placed the seed of, like, maybe we should care for other people besides just the stupid queen who's, like, treating us all like slaves.
Yeah.
So I understand that, but just not. She didn't turn because she killed her own kind. She turned because she killed an extra prince, and her mom is a bitch. like that's all.
Yeah, her mom is a bitch.
She's horrible.
The Sea Queen.
Yeah,
I did like that the Sea Queen is like Ursula and the Little Mermaid, where you become a Sea Queen, you're not really a siren.
You're not a siren anymore.
You're like an octopus. And then mermaids are actually like
ugly things. Yeah, like ugly, dumb fish. Yeah. That just are obsessed with people. So that's where the Little Mermaid, like they collect items dropped in the ocean. Which was neat. I mean, I've heard those are just different spin-offs of the tales of sirens and mermaids, because sirens and mermaids are actually two different things.
Yeah.
But like the only thing I had wrong with her mother was that it just seemed like she was a baddie because she had to be a baddie. Like, what was her reasoning behind all of it? Like, I don't understand. Like, I understand why she didn't have a bitch to her daughter. She didn't want to give her.
She was just an evil lady because they needed an evil lady.
Oops, yeah, there was no real reason. Like, I kind of understand why she's a little, like, I don't want to give up my throne to my daughter, but, like, all the shit she's done, like, having her daughter kill her aunt, like, why do they have to be these horrible, horrible, vicious people? And, like, there's, like...
that whole, like, backstory of, like, they have to go get the... What is it called?
The prince's heart?
Yeah, they have to go do that, and they did the backstory of why it's there so that the sirens can't overpower the humans, and the humans can't overpower the sirens. And, like, I think they were trying to use that to fuel the mother. Like, she has that from past generations, but it was like...
Like, if she, I don't know. Like, it just didn't seem very, like, I didn't see, like, it's so, it would be one thing if the queen was out there killing a bunch of humans all the time.
Yeah.
But she's not. So it's
and she got mad at the main character for it.
For killing an extra human, which makes no sense. You want to be this big, vicious, horrible, evil person that wants to murder all the humans, but when your own daughter goes and kills another human, like a few months early, all of a sudden, that's the worst possible fucking thing in the world. You're trying to destroy all the humans. You could destroy all the humans if you just fucking kill more humans.
Yeah.
Like, this war could have been over, guys. You're way stronger than humans. And it's like, I don't know. There was no rhyme or reason to the way the sirens were really running their kingdom.
No, and like all their hearts were how old they were.
Yeah, but that's only because they get a new heart. They go and kill another person every year.
Yeah, so, I didn't understand that, because it's like, okay, then what do you do the rest of the year?
And then, yeah, so then you have these things that are like, so when her mother destroyed the heart, it hurt her, right? Because they become bonded. But, like, you don't hear anything else about that.
No, you only hear it that one time.
And I was like, this is completely pointless. Why? It would have been so much better if you would have just said that the hearts are trophies. And the more hearts you have, the higher ranking you are in the siren world.
Yeah, the more power.
But the thing is you don't let them get more than one a year. So that makes no sense. And, like, if you want to destroy the humans, why are you only killing one human a year?
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
That made no sense because, A, there's sirens, and all the stories of sirens is they're just trying to kill humans. And in this book, they're trying to kill them, but not. So it's definitely very...
They don't eat them.
What are we trying to do?
Yeah, because like sirens, like the original sirens is they drag people down and they eat them. But they're not eating them. They're just pulling their hearts out and bonding to hearts, which do absolutely nothing. Except for hurt you when they get destroyed.
They get the feels and they're like, okay, gotta go hide this under the sand.
Yeah, like, oh, I want a heart. This is my first love. Let's go hide it. Like, fuck. It makes no sense, man. So I don't really understand that whole thing. And maybe this is why it was so, like, just mediocre, I guess, feeling is because a lot of stuff didn't make sense. You know, a lot of stuff didn't add. There was almost like
she
there
needed
could
a
have been
critique
a lot
partner.
More. Yeah. Is probably what she needed. I mean, but you know, stuff like that still gets by. It's just.
But this was a good book, and this was this author's debut novel.
Yes.
So being her first book, it was really pretty good. But that begs the question of, from this book, when she releases her next book, would you read it, or would you have to know what it's about, or?
You know, probably because it's not like I dislike writing. So, like, normally if I don't, I don't know. Now, the question is would I pay enough attention to know she released another book? That's the real question. Oh, did she?
I looked it up. Yeah. She did release another book that is a series. It's not anything to do with this. It's trying to be like, I think someone tried to say it was similar to Six of Crows, but fell flat. So I haven't read Six of Crows yet.
Six of Crows is good. So
this year. But it's a series, and I read what it was about briefly, but I didn't want to read it. So I think I would if she wrote another interesting topic book.
I am a big fan of the villain as the main character. You know, so.
I am too, but I didn't feel like she was a villain. Like, from her being a siren to her being a human, she was just like...
She was more forced to be a villain.
She was forced to be a villain, and... Yeah. But they tried to make her so... Like, here's one of the quotes that I read on I looked on Goodreads, and I was like, oh, yeah, I guess I did read that. But, like, her at the end of it, I definitely wouldn't... Like, this wouldn't be her. So this is the start of the book. It says, technically, I'm a murderer, but I like to think that's one of my better qualities.
Yeah, and by the end of that, that's like, it's not her anymore.
Completely different.
You know?
Here's a question. Would you rather sail the seas on the sod, I don't know how to say it, I think sod, or explore the underwater kingdom of Quito?
Probably explore the world on the side.
Okay.
I don't think I'd want to be a siren.
I would definitely want to see the underwater kingdom just to like scuba dive. You know? Like, how are they living? Like, I almost wish her being a siren was a little bit longer in the book so we could have explored that world a little bit more. But I get that wasn't the main world.
Yeah. And that's probably why we lost so much in the whole siren aspect and the way they work.
Yeah.
And yeah, she does make a very drastic, unnatural kind of change from the beginning to the end of the book. I mean, I don't know. At the same time, I do kind of understand that she wasn't evil to begin with. She was kind of playing the part of evil. Mm-hmm. But, like, if you're playing the part of evil on the outside, that's fine. But since it's her internal dialogue, you should know, like, in the beginning that she's not... Like, literally, it opens up with her being completely fine with just killing people. And then later on,
we have character progression in it, mm-hmm. But like what thing that made me kind of like is whenever she's talking about like, oh well, none of this will end with him being alive. Like it was already like her kind of like, oh, but I want him to be alive, and I'm like, you just got to Earth, not to Earth, but to the land, and you already want him to be alive. Like you hate him. He's why you're a human right now.
Yeah.
Like you'll go back to where you want to be.
Yeah, and they don't even have like a whole mating thing to blame that shit on. It's just automatic love at first sight. Insta love is what it was, basically.
It wasn't the love. I'm glad you said that because I was feeling that too.
Yeah.
It was very
insta love between both of them. Like, oh, they saw each other and they're instantly in love. They instantly changed their entire way of thinking in that point in time. And I'm like, well, that's not. I was like, it's one thing if you have like a mating bond
that you can't
control, so you feel drawn and to protect them despite fighting against it, you know. But no, they're just instantly wanting
lust at first sight.
Yeah, it's not even lust at first sight. It's not like they're getting on in the first book. It's insta love. They love at first sight. I can totally get behind instant lust. But instant lust doesn't change your entire worldview.
Oh.
Like, I would totally get it if she was just sexually attracted to him, because that was the type of character she started out at the beginning. Like, a badass that would have been, like, totally fine with just being sexually attracted to someone and, you know, taking that to her advantage until she kills him later on, you know?
Yeah,
maybe... Yeah, like maybe after, you know, now she didn't have to go into details of writing them, you know, screwing or something, but like maybe them kissing and like, you know, the hints that they're sleeping around before, and she's just totally like, I'm just going to use this shit until I kill him, you know? And then from there, slowly, gradually bring on, like, she's going to catch feelings, but like not instantly catch feelings. Like, like, I don't know. I just, insta love is not something that should be allowed without a mating bond. And even a lot of times with a mating bond, it's not insta love. It's like, I'm instantly going to protect you because I fucking have to. Like, you know, like I have to do
a lot of it with like the mating whatever bonds is that they're trying to fight it. They're like not just like, okay, I love you.
Yeah, like right off the bat. Like, they still have to find love. You know? They still have to find how and why they love each other. And with their case, it was like, oh, well, we're automatically going to be in love with each other. Now I just have to figure out how to make this seem natural. Yeah. You know? And it's not going to seem natural.
I figure out a way to not have to kill you.
Yeah, which
is pretty easy, actually.
My whole thing was that, yeah, that whole thing was a mess too when you really think about it. Hold on, I like how the iPhone's like, oh, just send him a message. Sorry, I can't talk right now.
Here's another quote I like real quick so I can just get it off my notes. In my heart, I'm as wild as ocean that raised me. I really liked that one too.
Yeah, that was actually a really good quote. I was actually just reading that as well. So, I mean, and another thing was she was such a badass, right? As the siren. And that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, all this stuff that she's a badass. I get that. And then as soon as she turns human, she's instantly not a badass anymore. Like, it's not like she didn't have arm strength before. I mean, I understand that she's gonna not be able to walk right away, and she's not gonna know, like,
she'd be clumsy.
Yeah, but she's like instantly can't fucking do anything. Like, she's weak. She's like, and I'm like, dude, like, maybe you shouldn't completely debuff your character till she's completely worthless.
I think, you know? we're also so used to reading books where the beginning the character's weak, and then throughout the book they get strong and become a badass. Whereas in this book, it seemed like she was a badass and then became weak throughout it. Like, so it was the opposite.
She's instantly a badass at the end.
Well, yeah, because she got that thing. She wouldn't have been without it. She would have been killed.
But barely. I mean, she was instantly a badass the moment she turned back into being a siren.
Mm-hmm.
So, it makes no sense how you lose that much strength. I mean, I'm guessing what it is magic, but see, you don't see a lot of magic and you don't get a lot of explanation of how magic works in the world.
No, all you know is that her mother has that trident.
Mm-hmm. And you know that some families have magic in their blood. So, which makes no sense, right? Because,
Did they even explain it?
What?
Why the prince, he was supposed to have gold blood and he didn't?
Yeah, see, that's what I was about to bring up, right? So the prince's family is supposed to have gold blood, and that's what runs in their family. And then Ikiko's or whatever the heck her name, Yukio's name.
Yeah.
Her family was supposed to be able to withstand cold temperatures and climb up the mountain, right? And then you have the queen, who I cannot remember her name, but everyone gets, like, she turns men into zombies, basically. Like, loyal zombies, right? So, apparently, hers works. Why does that one queen's magic work and no one else's works? Because Yukio, they don't climb up the mountain. They don't withstand cold temperatures. They have cheats all the way up the fucking mountain. They have fireplaces all the way up the mountain and cheats, right? And then his blood isn't gold. So then why is this one human queen's magic work?
Who's like
out of everything,
really only there to just shove Yukio too.
Yeah, basically.
And so he doesn't marry her.
So yeah, it was just an out so he didn't have to marry Yukio, which was that whole thing was stupid in general.
Like, I know, he was like, I'll marry you. She was like, okay.
It's completely unneeded. That entire thing was unneeded.
It was just she could have just not done it, and it would have been fine. And the book would have not have suffered.
It was completely blatantly obvious that she would have helped him and gave him that map for getting that stupid necklace back. Mm-hmm. That from the pirate guy, right? Whatever his name was, I don't even remember his name. But like, the whole marriage thing seemed completely pointless. And you know what makes it even more pointless is he even says while he's talking to her that she never once said she wouldn't do it. She was just going to see what she could get out of him for it. And I was like, well, why would you back yourself into a corner like that? You knew she was going to give you the information for the necklace. Why would you offer your fucking...
He just wants love.
It was stupid. You did that to yourself, dude. You did that to yourself. She was going to give you the information anyways. It just was to make it more dramatic, and then it just made it like she had to have a female enemy, I guess. I
get, but you don't have to.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to. I don't like women, so I understand. Camille's the only one. Nah, watch. I'm gonna get hate for that if anyone ever hears that.
But overall, those were our thoughts. It was a solid 3.5.
Yeah,
4 stars.
Yeah, I really want to I debated a lot about dropping my score down to a 3.
You can always do that later.
But I finally just now put a review up today because I don't know. I mean, it's an okay book. The one good thing about, which might be why I gave it a 4, is that the people who read the audiobook were ridiculously talented. Like, it was more than that book.
So it had a different voice actor for Lyra, or whatever her name is. Mm-hmm. And the dude.
I mean, they made that book. Like, the voice, like, the person who voiced Lyra's chapters was ridiculously good. Like, she made her sound so freaking awesome all the time. So, I mean, I think that's probably why I gave it a 4 in the first place. But then when I really started to think about the story, I'm like, maybe just a 3.
Yeah, it's definitely not gonna be memorable, and I'm glad I have it on Kindle and not a physical copy.
Yeah,
because I wanted to have it. And I don't want that book on.
A lot of books, so I cleaned out a lot.
I might need to.
So yeah, I guess that's about it. There's not much more we can say about the book. That covers pretty much the whole. Oh, we didn't talk about the ending. What did you think about that?
The whole where she's a sea queen and
he just shows up. So I guess she can easily now go between having legs and not having legs.
She can easily go in between. I thought it was a pretty meh ending. It wasn't like
it just felt like she didn't know how to end
Black's Cruel Prince book. So like I was right after that, and then I read this book. So like I was like, that had such a satisfying ending, that whole trilogy. And then I read this, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, like it just was nothing. Like they showed up. You don't even know if they're actually together. You just assume that they're together.
I mean, yeah, it's assumed.
But they're not like together. He talks like he only visits her like once in a blue moon. I was like,
yeah, so they only visit each other, which I've read books like that where the love interest in the whole book, and they're what they want to do doesn't align, so they just kind of see each other every now and then. And for me, still, like, those other books had a better ending than that did. I mean, I'm glad that she ended her mom and stuff like that, and then she became the sea witch, is now this octopus lady.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I feel like there could have been a little bit more to make a little bit more satisfaction.
It was insta love, and then they're not even together at the end. Like not really together. So
yeah, she didn't make herself, like, really, if she wanted to, she could have just made herself a human.
Okay, one of the big things,
siren powers.
Well, one of the big things that they were talking, sorry, I don't want him to pick up the wrong size wood. One of the big things they talked about was that originally sirens could go on the land and water. They could freely transform themselves, right? And so she said she was going to open that up, right, where they could do that again, where they could go on land or go on water and blah blah and move into other kingdoms. So why would you so if you're going to be the queen of this race that is now going to be in both areas, why would you keep a castle out in the middle of the ocean? Like, why not make a castle that's like half in the ocean, half on land or something?
Yeah.
Instead of just having a castle out in the middle of the ocean and you technically still just being an octopus?
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, the man that you supposedly fell in love with is a human?
And, like, during the book, too, she talks about, like, how she would have been if she was a human. Like, she talks about it like she wants to be a human. And then at the end, so I was just thinking, I mean, if it's a Little Mermaid retelling, she becomes human. Just stays human.
Yeah.
I was thinking that was going to be the case, and it wasn't, but whatever.
It was unsatisfying. I mean, that's all it was. It was an unsatisfying ending to a book that was very meh in general.
But I'm glad I read it. Now I know.
Yeah, read it. It's a good book. Like,
talk about it. So it's nice.
We're not trying to hate on it.
Constructive criticism.
Yeah, like it's not the worst thing I've ever read. Believe me,
good.
I've read far worse.
Start.
Then I guess our next book is that what we need to go into next?
Yeah, hold up your physical copy.
Rebel of the Sands. This is my pick. So we alternated for the first 6 months, and the last 6 months of the year we still have open to allow other people to add in. And I think right now Six of Crows is up for grabs, right?
Six of Crows and one other book, but you've already read Six of Crows, so we might do another.
I mean, I don't mind rereading Six of Crows. That's a damn good book. I like that series. I don't remember what the other one. I thought I had read both of the ones that were.
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember what the other one was.
But yeah, and I've already failed my reading challenge because I had another book I was supposed to read this month,
And I did. You're just going to have to read 3 books this month.
I'm going to have to read 3. I'm like, you've been slowly focusing on writing compared to anything else right now. So that's been a big thing. But yeah, the link to a group is down below. The link to our Discord for all writers who need writing support and friends is down below. Our social media is down below. I mean, I don't post a whole lot.
I don't either.
Yeah, mostly anime stuff. I'm not releasing any books right now, so it's pretty quiet. But yeah, this Rebel in the Sands is a book that I've wanted to read for a while because I like the covers.
Excited. I liked the original cover more. I saw they got the cover changed and I was like...
The original cover for this book was the kind of inspiration for the cover for one of the books that I'm working on, Wings of Shell. Mm-hmm. I wanted it that kind of look that's like...
I liked that cover. Yeah. I don't know why they changed it. Trying to sell more, I guess.
I don't know why they did either. I mean, but I didn't realize, like, I had seen that cover, but I had never bothered with, like, trying to see if I wanted to read the book until these covers came out. And it wasn't even this one. It was until the 3rd book's cover came out.
It's a trilogy, right? Or is it 4?
There's 3 books so far.
So far?
I don't know if it's more than that. But we're just reading the first books of series in this, so...
Yeah,
if we want to pick up the second books later. But yeah, that's pretty much it. There wasn't a whole lot to talk about, and somehow we still got 30 minutes in on this book. So
that's good.
I'm mostly just complaining about it. It makes me feel bad because it's not a bad book.
No, it's a really good book. The writing, she did well, because she did both of them. Were they both first person, right?
Yes.
And that's a challenge to do when you're doing 2 characters to try and make sure you're making them different. So she did good, and it's her debut book. Like, she's just going to get better and better and better from here on out.
Yeah.
So
every book you release after your first one is going to be better than the one before. Mm-hmm. I am so facing that right now. So with every book that I've written, because I have some done now, kind of sitting in the background, pretty much. But every book that I write, I just look back and I'm like, Stars Like Fate sucks every single time I see it now. I just get so upset, which is back there behind me, because I'm getting better and better at writing. And then I look back on Stars Like Fate and I'm like, I was such a child when I wrote that. And it was only a couple years ago. So, and that's a big reason why I'm having trouble with writing the 3rd book. Because I'm like, I just want to rewrite the whole series, but then also I don't want to change anything about the series.
Yeah.
So this lady, or this woman, Alexandra, whatever she goes by.
Alexandra Christoph.
She will Christo. Only get better with every book she releases. Because that's how every author is. They only get better with every book. So if this was a decently okay book,
3.5 to 4 stars is really a good rating.
Yeah, especially for a first book. So, I mean, it's worth it. It's worth a read. I mean,
yeah, if you're interested in sirens, if you want to read a Little Mermaid retelling, pick it up. This is going to be your jam.
You know what I want to read a retelling of?
What?
Aladdin, for some reason.
Oh, funny you should mention that, because not this month, but next month we are reading an Aladdin retelling.
Oh, I forgot that you put that in there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a indie book, self-published by AuthorTuber, so I really wanted to read it.
Yeah, so we can go through our list real fast, since this is kind of our first thing. We can go through our list of books that we have picked out. So To Kill the Kingdom was our first book, and that one's done.
January.
That was January's. February's is Rebel of the Sands. That's my pick.
Which we're
reading now. What's after February? March is by Camille's pick, and that's The Stolen Kingdom and Aladdin Retelling by Bethany
Atazada.
Atazada. And then March, April, right? January, March, April. I don't know my months.
Yes.
I saw her name as May, and I kept thinking that was May's book, but no, this is April's book. The author's name is May. The April book is Region Strands of Starfire #1, which is a book that I've had on my Amazon list for a long time, and I just haven't read it, which is a sci-fi romance, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it looks very sci-fi.
Yeah, and then May is Simple Wild #1, which is Camille's pick. But also, I think I kind of helped pick that one out, too. And then June is my pick, and that is An Enchantment of Ravens, which is another book that has been on my list to read for a long time.
I'm excited to read that book and the other book by that author, so I'm really excited to check out that author's writing.
Wait, do we have another one of her books on here? Oh, no, you have another one of her books on your
I want to read Sorcery of Thorns by her.
Yeah. And then our July book is Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik.
I'm so excited about that book.
I don't know anything about that book.
I have heard literally nothing but amazing things from people that give are really tough critics. So I'm so pumped.
Yeah, so that's our list until July. Everything past July is still open. I guess we need to pick a new book now since January's over. Pick the next book maybe to go on the list. It's probably what we need to do.
So if you want to know what that book is, tune in next month when we do our chat about... Yeah, or join the group. You'll find out way sooner. But yeah, we'll have it next month too. Alrighty, bye.
End broadcast. We're still